Wow. What a finish at AT&T Stadium.
Yes, sir.
Let's start with the two-point conversion and why it was negated for the Lions.
Well, offensive lineman, I think it was Taylor Decker, never declared eligible to the referees. And clearly this was a play that you only run once. And they saved this. That's why they were so confident, Dan Campbell, when they scored that touchdown to go down 1 point. He instantly, it wasn't even a
Make sure you report here.
Well, you don't want to physically walk up to the line.
I know,
because, of course, it might
if a play like
alert.
that, how is that getting miscommunicated so poorly?
And we don't know if it wasn't communicated. That's the thing. We don't know if it was communicated to the lineman. Yo, make sure you talk to the ref. Make sure you declare eligible for the ref so he understands and makes it known that you are eligible. And that was one of the bigger miscues that we witnessed in that ball game because that negated a huge game-winning opportunity for the Detroit Lions.
Well, oftentimes and every time, if you're listening to a game or you're at a game, you'll hear the referee saying, so-and-so has reported.
Yep.
We didn't hear that.
We didn't hear it
because
because
we are listening to the game.
The referee was never notified because when they make that announcement, we hear it, and guess who else hears it? The defenders. So now we're more alert to understand, like, listen, we got an eligible guy right here. So just be a little mindful of something sneaky or something tricky going to happen. And because of the lack of communication, I mean, the play was on point. I mean, clearly Ben Johnson had this play, like I mentioned. You had this all the way in your bag for a very, very important opportunity, situational moment in the ball game. They ran it, but just the lack of communication.
Yep.
So you got an extra 5, but you still, you're on the 4-yard line or something like that.
They're on the 4.
I feel like let's take it into overtime. As Hakeem mentioned, you go into overtime. Yes, you're the road team, but you have momentum based on the scoring drive that you were able to execute in a matter of 4 or 5 plays. And then also, too, you just ran your money play to Taylor Decker. That was the money play. Most offensive coordinators, they don't have 2 money plays in a situational moment like that when you need to convert 2 points. And if you look at the play that they ran, it was an okay play, but it wasn't like the play we initially saw to Taylor Decker. So I was confused because I felt like you ran your money play. Unfortunately, would have done it. That's been his mindset the entire time. Now I think the difference would have been after the penalty, he kicks the field goal.
Yeah.
Because you don't move back and still try to convert 2 points. I mean, that's just overly aggressive. The nature of their offense is they've been one of the more aggressive offenses in the National Football League in attempting 4th down opportunities, attempting 2-point opportunities as well. So that has been the mindset. So I'm okay in seeing the consistency and aggression when you're calling plays. But that penalty, if this was a playoff game,
yeah,
I think
he's of course kicking the PAT.
He's kicking the PAT.
I don't even think
you're going for 2, and I think the ball was placed on the 6-yard line. That's highly aggressive.
It was from the 7, and then the flag moved it up to the 4.
Yeah. So if you don't get the flag, you're trying to tell me all the marbles are in the middle of the table, and you're just saying, you know what, forget extra period in a playoff-like setting? No, I think he kicked the extra point.
I hate this phrase, playing with house money. But it felt like Dan Campbell was playing with house money. Like he just wanted to try and see what would happen here in this situation, try to execute.
I think he got caught in emotions. I think his emotions got caught in front of him just being a coach and understanding the moment and the situation. Because he was so irate and just angry that they called the penalty. He never once, when you saw him, he went from yelling at the referees and saying, run it again. Let's go again. Yeah. So he never really gathered himself to really think, oh, the moment right now, we're on the 7-yard line. Do I really want to go for it to convert 2 points to end the ball game from the 7th against this defense? Or should I take the extra point? Let's win it in overtime. He never really thought about it because everyone was irate that was associated with the Detroit Lions because of the penalty that was called. And I think his decision was so emotionally based that it was super aggressive. And because of that, the misfortune of the Dallas Cowboys became the misfortune of the Detroit Lions became the fortune of the Dallas Cowboys.
It did, because that play, that decision will likely cost the Lions the 2 seed.
Oh,
if they win and they beat the Vikings next week, they are the 2 seed.
Yes.
They are the 2 seed. And so this situation will be examined as we are doing so right now, as you take a look at the playoff picture. But right now, Mike McCarthy might want to toast Dan Campbell before we even drop the ball because of the situation that he got bailed out from.
Yeah.
Think about the defense. The Dallas defense bailed him out.
Two times.
And then they have their possession. They're throwing it on 2nd and 14. They saved Detroit some 40 seconds.
40 minutes, yes.
So that allowed Jared Goff and the Lions to drive down the field in 1 minute 18 seconds and score the touchdown to make it the 1-point game. Like, this is a gift for the Dallas Cowboys because right now we'd be looking at a 3-game losing streak and it'd be the first home loss of the season for the Cowboys. Instead, that's how slim the margin is here. Because the Cowboys, quite literally right there, threw it away. Second, third.
Detroit only had one timeout.
What are we doing?
It's 2nd and 14, run the football. Make Detroit use their timeouts. They threw the football and then threw it again on 3rd down.
And they did that in the drive before with 2:50 to play.
Yes.
They threw it 2nd and 5.
Questionable clock management by Mike McCarthy. He's been consistent in having questionable clock management errors. I'll say that. That's the consistent thing about Mike McCarthy because, yes, he got bailed out the first drive when he just didn't want to run the football. And then this last drive, because of the 2-point error, I mean, he got bailed out again. We were watching the game not having a dog in the race. But the football logic is to do what? Run the football when you have time on your side and you have a lead. Detroit at that time, Hakeem, I think they had one timeout. Make them utilize their timeouts. And on 3rd down, you know what we're going to do? We're going to run it again. And now we're going to milk the clock, call a timeout, and then punt it. Like, it's so mind-boggling to see the critical errors in situational football with Mike McCarthy. But in tonight, it didn't hurt them with a loss. But he continues to have the same, confusing decisions when you talk about having a clock on your side and just being so aggressive in calling plays when you just should run the football, utilize the clock, make them use their timeouts. Worst case scenario, they get the football back is well under a minute with no timeouts.
Right.
They had well over a minute with no timeouts, and you saw how easily the Lions were able to march down the football field and ultimately score a game potential tying touchdown.
Dallas Cowboys are a good football team. Detroit Lions are a good football team. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Yeah.
And I want to take you back to the first touchdown that the Cowboys scored. They're on their own 8, right? Dak Prescott throws a 92-yard touchdown to CeeDee Lamb.
He has solidified himself as a top 5 wide receiver in the National Football League. And I wouldn't say he's 5th. He is a guy who is a big-time playmaker for this offense. And I don't know exactly how they're going to do it, but his price tag has increased week by week. So they got to find a way to lock him up because, yes, he's a #1 guy. I don't see him slowing down anytime soon. And he's become their best offensive weapon for the Dallas Cowboys. In this ball game, Detroit, they try to devote extra attention to CeeDee Lamb, devoting 2 guys on him in coverage. But he just found ways to get open. The most unique thing that I like about CeeDee that oftentimes kind of gets overlooked, his ability to make people miss. That yak, yards after the catch, is huge in his game plan because when he catches the football, he's not looking to go down. He's looking to go get yak, and we saw that time and time again in this ball game. And like I said, huge day. If he doesn't give the effort that he gave them tonight, clearly the Cowboys would have lost this ball game.
CeeDee Lamb with the most receiving yards in a single season in Cowboys history.
Yeah. Wow.
I mean, that is impressive. That's pretty awesome for CeeDee Lamb. And a night where the Cowboys...
They needed every yard.
Could have.
Every yard.
Should have lost. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, they win a close one.